Welcome back to Crystal Clear. I'm Ostrich Vox, and the marketing for Steven Universe the movie has been quite peculiar if you ask me. Wherein Steven Universe's past, antagonists have always been something exciting yet shrouded in mystery. Jasper was a complete secret, the rubies were a complete secret, Holly Blue Agate was a complete secret, Aquamarine and Topaz only had their silhouettes and promos for the actual episodes, and the diamonds were always nothing more than breadcrumbs. We usually knew when they were going to pop up in episodes, but that was because all sorts of advertisements would always allude to them, if not sparingly show them. However, with the movie, the villain has been the true focus of all marketing. The teaser trailer not only featured her silhouette, but the renders of our protagonist were within her gem. Momocon had a bit of marketing with a Snapchat filter and buttons that were again of the villain's gem. The villain was the star of the most recent trailer, showcasing plenty of action scenes where she's dominating and the mysterious injector she's brought to the planet. Oddly enough, we still don't know what gem this villain is. Is she a Morganite? Is she a failed pink diamond? We may not actually get an answer until September 2nd. But this really has me thinking, what is the purpose of this villain in the story of Steven Universe? As narratively, the antagonists have some kind of theme or message behind them. Jasper is used to highlight the conflicting actions committed by Rose Quartz. The rubies, more so Eyeball and Navy, taught Steven that he can't trust everyone, even if he did help them out in a really big way. Ultimately, the diamonds were used to illustrate that you're never too far gone to be redeemed, to get a second chance. So with the series extending past Change Your Mind, how can you build upon those concepts? Well, you don't. Instead, you used a new chapter of the story to tell a brand new lesson. Thus, I think this villain's going to have a greater impact into the story and Steve as a character than most would expect from a television film. I think Steven Universe will pull the unexpected and not give this villain a redemption. I believe by the end of Steven Universe the movie, Steven will have failed to show this villain that the grass is always greener. And, getting into potentially edgy territory, the villain may no longer exist by the time the credits begin to roll. Now I know what you're thinking. That's not Steven Universe. This is the same channel that theorized that a diamond could be shattered by the end of Change Your Mind. I know, I hear you, I respect you, but just hear me out for a second. Redemption and second chances were a part of the previous iteration of Steven Universe. As Ian Jones Cordy remarked on the Steven Universe podcast after the premiere of Change Your Mind, in between the weight of Change Your Mind and everything else that comes after it, we should not expect the same show, because in Ian's own words, that show is done. Everything that awaits us is something entirely new. And this is already evident by just glancing at the film. Steven is older, he has a neck now, he has a completely new house. The dynamics in his life are changing. He seems as if he's either dating Connie or on the brink of a romantic relationship with her. His dynamic with Greg is sure to change, and the fact he's just able to go off in space for 2 years and dismantle an empire without the Crystal Gem supervision shows how much he's matured, how wise he's become, and that he may not be as oblivious as he was before. I mean, let's face it, even up until Change Your Mind, Steven was pretty oblivious. We all saw him encourage the diamonds to assemble a giant mech, which allowed White Diamond to just yellow and blue. And suddenly she has a giant weapon to prevent Steven from leaving. But that's all because of Steven's big heart. While things have gone wrong a few times, following his heart hasn't failed him yet. And I believe that will change in the film. This villain is unlike any gem we've ever seen, in the way she looks, in the way she moves, and probably in the way she talks. Beyond that, it seems this should be portrayed to be more violent than any other gem we've encountered before too. Many shots of the trailer are just her attacking the crystal gems, throwing genuine punches. How many times have you seen punches thrown in Steven Universe? Not that often, especially not played as straightforward as it's made out to be here in the film. From the mannerisms we can pick up on, to the stakes presented by the situation, this gem clearly wants Steven dead, and I don't believe there's going to be much room for negotiation. As dark as it may sound, especially for Steven Universe, this gem is probably going to Earth to find Steven with the knowledge that she may not leave alive. It's Era 3, things are peaceful. The diamonds, who are the matriarchs of Homeworld, adore Steven and listen to him. They were persuaded by Steven to change, something that was nearly impossible. All gems are given a second chance, even those who were once enemies of Steven. Yet that is not stopping this gem from going to Earth, injecting it to assumably create a brand new gem, and giving everything she's got to attack Steven and the gems. She's more than likely aware that if her plan plan falters even a little bit, she may be imprisoned for the rest of her life. Even if Steven is all about redemption, there are still rules and consequences. I don't think the Diamonds would treat another assassination attempt on quote-unquote Pink Diamond all too lightly. And I use Pink Diamond very loosely. I'm sure by now the Diamonds are more than aware that Steven is not pink. Look at Beach City by assumably the end of the film. It's completely engulfed in faults, falling apart with little chance of recovery. That isn't something Steven can just wave away with his hand. His planet may be permanently damaged. I think he's more than well aware of the gravity of the situation. And yes, Steven will try to talk her out of it, but I believe he'll be largely unsuccessful. Considering Steven Universe up to this point has been a story about redemption, about second chances, about saving the people that aren't too far gone, the idea of changing that is pretty bonkers, right? But I would argue it's also a necessity. Because riddle me this, what would the story, audience, and characters gain from this gem being redeemed? Because in a weird sense, I almost feel as if redeeming this villain would be backtracking. Simply because introducing an antagonist after the Diamonds, that's also another gem, only to redeem them? It feels like a redundant downgrade. Every redemption or second chance in Steven Universe meant something. Steven liberating and healing Lapis was also the first time he made a pretty big decision independent of the crystal gems. In fact, they were completely against it. But Steven saw someone who was hurting, someone who could greatly benefit from a second chance. Lapis stole the Earth's ocean, and although all of her intentions weren't pure of heart, it was all for a goal we could sympathize with. Because it showed not every homeworld gem was brainwashed into a way of thinking. Just because someone has loyalty to the Diamonds, it doesn't mean that they lack a conscience. They have the capability to learn and grow. We saw that Steven has the chops to change someone's perspective, and without Peridot, they wouldn't have been able to create the gem drill and bubble the cluster. You get what I'm saying? Usually redemption goes hand in hand with the characters and world of the series. We usually learn something new as a result, and the second chance usually correlates to a huge plot development. Even the redemption of the Diamond led to the corrupted gems being healed and a new era of homeworld being ushered in. The redemption of the Diamonds led to the biggest change in the series, a positive change where you can't really build upon that, which is why the villain of this film brings a negative change. At this point, we have to know what her motive is, we just don't know which variation of the motive will be concrete until the film airs. But if she's anything beyond a failed replacement for Pink Diamond, then she's more than likely angry at all the changes Steven has brought to Homeworld. And again, this would be a gem who's had their second chance. Everyone on Homeworld has a clean start, yet she decided to more or less wage war on Steven and try to get rid of the Earth once and for all. There's a lot of storytelling possibilities for not just the film, but the series of Steven Universe as a whole, should this villain not be redeemed. If she is by the end of the film, then what does she add to this overall experience other than, yeah, we more or less just told the same themes, the same cookie cutter redemption arc, but this time in 90 minutes. Though to give the benefit of the doubt, I honestly more than likely will be pretty down for it once I'm actually able to sit down and watch the movie. That's the thing with a lot of storytelling, things can usually be a lot better in execution than they are on paper. But other than the Earth being saved, which would probably happen even if the villain isn't redeemed, I don't really see what storytelling possibilities could emerge from this movie, what impact and growth this would have on Steven if everyone's just buddy-buddy and friends by the end of it. Steven Universe as a show and a character is growing up with its audience. Thus, as the audience matures, the show's themes have to mature as well. Unfortunately, there are dark, twisted people out in the world. People who can't be redeemed. So it's time for Steven to meet a character who pushes things so far that they can't be redeemed as well. Whether if this gem ends up shattering herself, gets imprisoned with her mind unswayed, or just successfully flees after being defeated, it'll all have a similar outcome. Steven realizing his time protecting the Earth isn't quite over yet, and realizing that not everyone can be redeemed. Not everyone wants to. Again, right now, all gems are given a second chance. So this lady right here is beyond ballsy. It is an act of terrorism. And not to end on a downer note, but just throwing it out there, I don't think terrorists enter any scenario expecting them to walk out alive. They have a pure message of hate, and they want to spread it no matter the cost. So let's all really give our best wishes to Steven because, oh my gosh, he might need it. But as always, these were just my thoughts, and I want to hear yours. What do you think? Could this be the end of the line for Steven's streak of redemption? Why or why not? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, or tweet your thoughts thoughts at Roundtable Vids. And for more of my own thoughts, you can find me at OstricVox. We're also on Instagram. Special thanks to JANKYBONES for creating an awesome thumbnail. For more of their amazing art, you can find them on Tumblr at JANKYBONES, Twitter and Instagram at BoneJanky, and subscribe to their YouTube channel. Link in the description. Help the Roundtable grow by either becoming a member of this channel or supporting us over at Patreon. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like and subscribe to the Roundtable for more great cartoon content. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. OstricVox, signing out.